you a paid motherfucking vacation. We living on a concrete plantation. I'm the glitch in the matrix, bitch. I'ma change your station. You want a war, I'ma put you on my shit list.
You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Christmas.
You want a war, I'ma put you on my hit list.
You gon' fuck around and make us put you out of business.
Yeah, you want a war, I'ma put you on my shit list.
You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Christmas.
You want a war, I'ma put you on my
I just gotta hear this second verse.
Make us put you out of business.
Black money, black power. Stop spinning it for just 24 hours. Then they recognize your life and your
Ladies and gentlemen, the So What Morning Show back in the building Monday, November 10th. When I tell you this is one of the craziest shows that we about to do, it's my job to keep pushing the envelope, ladies and gentlemen. Please call us at 855-878-4652. That's 855-878-4652. We got guests. It's going to be crazy. But you know what we like to do? That's community empowerment before we start off any show. Number one, Boycott Christmas is the record you're listening to. It's a record about recycling black dollars, black empowerment, using our economic power as an offensive act to achieve power. Boycott Christmas can be found at cdbaby.com. All you got to do is type in the search, Boycott Christmas. It's going to come up. It's going to say Beat Cartel featuring Poet. Now, for a lot of people who are confused, Poet is Truth. I've been telling you for a long time, Boycott Christmas by Truth. But it comes up featuring Poet. Poet is Truth. Poet is an acronym. His rap name is Truth. Many, many years ago, he went by a rap name by Poet, and I've known him since he was 12, so I've been calling him Poet forever. Then he changed his name to Truth. Poet and Truth are the same person. Okay? Boycott Christmas. Got to get this record in your iPod. Go there right now. cdbaby.com. Call to action. Boycott Christmas. Buy it right now. 99 cents. Don't play yourself. Great record. Great motivational record. Community empowerment. We got somebody on the line right now who wants to empower a lot of people. She's empowered me, one of my wizards. Veronica Conway, get at us now. What's happening?
How you doing?
I'm good, baby girl. Talk to me, Virgo.
Have we not been getting down in the Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur Boot Camp? I
Like
mean, really.
crazy.
I mean, people,
Crazy.
We are blowing heads off and we're going to make some real money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Especially tomorrow, right? Our sales blitz, right?
Yeah. So we're doing Wantrepreneur to Entrepreneur Boot Camp, but I'm launching another accelerated boot camp, the G8 Intensive. It's for entrepreneurs. You got to be an established entrepreneur. We're going to take 4 weeks between now and the end of the year and change the game. Advanced selling strategies, changing people's business models. I took somebody from paying his business $19.50 an hour to he's probably going to be doing $100,000 a month. That's how we're getting down. So if people want to get more information about that, my website's going up for it right now, but they can email me at veronica@veronicaconway.com, veronica@veronicaconway.com, and just put in G8, and I'll hit it back.
Say that one more time.
Veronica@veronicaconway.com, and in the subject line, just put G8, and I'll hit him back, and we'll have a conversation about getting down between now and 2015. And
this is my coach, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to know this is my coach, my personal coach. This is a woman who's connected to Iyanla Van Zant, taught Iyanla neuro-linguistic programming. She's the one who introduced this to Iyanla. The sister has a neuro-linguistic program that undoes the Willie Lynch thought process, all types of belief busters and negative thoughts that black people have passed down intergenerationally, transgenerational trauma. She teaches the opposite of that, and it's specifically designed for us. The neurolinguistic program can be found on her blackmastery.com website, and it is crazy. It is spoken by Iyanla Van Zant herself. A neurolinguistic program that is designed to undo negative beliefs that are inherently built into the black perspective. That is It undoes Willie Lynch. It undoes colorism. It undoes the defeatist mentality that has kind of plagued the black community. This woman, Cal-educated, put together a program that speaks to you on a subconscious level for 20 minutes a day that undoes that. When I tell you I'm talking revolution, hey, I'm bringing the revolution. Go to blackmastery.com and purchase that right now. Connect with Veronica Conway. Veronica, what is that email one more time?
It's Veronica at veronicaconway.com.
God damn it, I'm going to see you in a minute because this conversation is about to get real, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
All right, then. I'll see you in a second. It's on and cracking, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we've got weed juice in front of me. Hey, I want to thank Wayne Wizzle, one of our followers, who posted on Facebook a picture of all of the juices that came to him. Continue to recycle black dollars. Continue to support this brother. He's a good brother, strong brother, smart brother. He's a physical fitness guru, and he's created his own line of juices that are designed to heal, help, nurture, nourish, the whole 9 yards. Support Weed Juice. You go to weedjuice.com. We, the French word, oh, that shit.com. Wejuice.com. You got to go there, do that. Also, my CD Baby Lecture on God, Street Scholar, Volume 1. Go get it right now. The Street Scholar CD on CD Baby. Go get it right now. Got to get it right now. Streetscholar.com, or not streetscholar.com, pardon me. Also, Easy Boy Web. Go to my website, iamzoewilliams.com. They did my website. Go there right now. Look at my website. Brothers out of Atlanta put together an icy video. Listen, this website is so cold. These brothers put it together really nicely, did everything that I needed. If you have any website designs or social media designs or issues or desires to upgrade your look, make your look flyer, go to some brothers who know how to get it done in a timely manner. EasyBoyWeb.com. They did mine. Look at this icy hot sweatshirt I'm wearing. Woo! Protected by Montu from Ramomart.com. The culture is in the clothing. Protected by Montu. What does that mean? Montu was, listen, this is a piece of history. This is where martial arts come from. The Egyptians put together this design because this protected by the god Montu for when they went into war. And when they did hand-to-hand combat, you see on the walls the forms of what the Japanese now call kata, karate. Kata just means form. Right? Forms. So, protected by Montu. And when the king came out, he was the only one in a red garment that had the gold wings of Montu across his chest. And I'm rocking it. Ramomart.com. We at war. Don't think you ain't at war because you ain't on the battlefield. They look different now. The battlefield is different now, right? Listen, we got another powerful person in the building that needs to be supported, that needs to be nurtured and caressed by our community of supporters. Mental Detox. We've got a beautiful doctor in the building, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, author of The Mental Detox, the power and guidance to implement peace, joy, balance, and financial abundance in your life. Welcome to the Zoe What Show. How are you doing today, Cheyenne?
I'm doing wonderful, Zoe.
Where do these folks get this book? What is this book about? How is this going to change their life? And does it have the answers to turn it all around? Fix them.
Yes. So, first things first, Mental Detox. It provides you with the tools to mentally detox your mind of negative thinking and unfavorable circumstance. And it helps you cognitively reconstruct your mind so that you can implement positive thinking, create the circumstance that you desire, and then have favorable circumstance. And where you can purchase the book is at my website. It's www.mentaldetoxbook.com. And again, that's mentaldetoxbook.com. It will be available via Amazon in 3 weeks. Ebook will be available in 2 weeks on Amazon. And again, this book provides you with the tools to implement positive thinking, to reconstruct your mind cognitively so that you can create your circumstance and have a favorable life.
Wow. Good stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Real men don't play. Uncle Bobby. I love him to death. He's a good brother. He's a mentor to my kid. I was on the phone with Jerry West the other day, who was calling to ask about my son because of Bobby G. Bobby G's a real dude. I'm always indebted to him. I respect him, even though I'm going to kick his ass tomorrow night on the basketball court, but I love him to death. Go to Real Men Don't Play. Get his book, Real Men Don't Play, a collection of interviews by some of the most prominent men on what it means to be a black man in America. This is the guide. This should be black men's new Bible, Real Men Don't Play, Bobby Glanton Smith, a manual for men on how to be men, Bobby Glanton Smith. Now, with that said, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, Lord have mercy, Jesus, Christ alive, this show's gonna be crazy. I need you guys to go out and support all of these businesses, though, first. When we come back, topics, guests, questions, you know how we do. Turn that beat up. Hey, wait, where's my video? I want to go out with my video. Go out with my video so they can see what's about to befall. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Holla, deuces.
Dr. Emoto has conducted another interesting experiment. He placed rice into 3 glass beakers and covered it with water. And then every day for a month, he said, "Thank you" to one beaker, "You're an idiot" to the second, and the third one he completely ignored. After 1 month, the rice that had been thanked began to ferment, giving off a strong, pleasant aroma. The rice in the second beaker turned black. And the rice that was ignored began to rot. Dr. Emoto thinks that this experiment provides an important lesson, especially with regard to how we treat children. We should take care of them, give them attention, and converse with them. Indifference does the greatest harm.
Mr. Emoto decided to see how thoughts and words affected the formation of untreated distilled water crystals by typing words onto paper and then taping this paper onto glass bottles overnight. This photo shows the effects of the words, "Thank you." This next photo shows the effects of the words, "love" and "appreciation." This photo shows the effects of the words, "You make me sick, I will kill you." And here we can compare the effects of "thank you" with the "you make me sick, I will kill you." Very, very different geometric forms being incurred through the intention. Now this photo is of a very polluted and toxic water from the Fujiwara Dam. Here now is the same water from the Fujiwara Dam after a Buddhist monk had offered a prayer over it. Prayer, that sound coupled with intention, seems to have an extraordinary ability of restoring water to its natural, harmonious, geometric symmetry.
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre and it didn't have to be that way.
The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about what's important to the other person. But what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life? When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen. I asked my wife a month ago, I said, I don't know whether to have an affair or buy a motorcycle. And she said, if you have an affair, I'll kill you. If you get the motorcycle, you'll kill yourself. Go with the bike. So this is another of the sex and love and lust shows. You know, relationships don't end because people stop loving each other. They end because people can't stop hating each other. Damn. And so, and hatred comes off as resentment. And so one of the things I advise people to do, unless you can really duke it out and then fight and then have make-up sex, which is often really good, and it sets the meter back to zero for another week. What I suggest is the best foreplay, because there's so much resentment and hatred in the world, is if you can think about what you appreciate about the other person, and more importantly, what they have to put up with by being with you. When you can do those two things, you're in a position to give love and make love as opposed to just taking sex.
Well, if it wasn't set up before,
bam,
it's set up this evening. He set it up properly. Today's topic. It's a difficult topic. We have to have this conversation. Corey Holcomb will be here in a little bit. We got a lot of people on deck. Nick Chama, my homeboy, is Skyping in from Australia, the energy healer. We got a lot of people. Veronica Conway was the inspiration behind this show. She submitted a lot of questions.
Shout out to Veronica.
Man, it's going to get heavy. The divine whore. What makes a whore divine? We're going to find out this evening. The divine whore, today's topic. A deeper look into the art of sex magic and the power of manifestation. Can I fuck my way into abundance? Right? Can I fuck my relationship healthy? Can I heal it through sex? A lot of people use sex as an escape, but can it be a hospital for hurt? 855-878-4652. Can men and women contaminate and ultimately destroy their relationships by holding negative and or resentful thoughts about their partner during the act of sex? How many women fuck and think, hurry up, motherfucker? Ooh, 855-878-4652. Shit.
What kind of work is that dude?
How many dudes pay dick with their, or pay rent with their dick? I'm just gonna have to go into this orca blind. I'm gonna have to lube this orca up.
Somebody to win it, yeah.
I'm just saying, can you create a negative instance or negative situation?
We have another guest who's glad to be on the show.
Wow.
What monster has your unrealistic expectations and negative thoughts created within your relationships? And how does sex help manifest these unrealistic beliefs and concretize them and really just set them in place? You know, thought is the concrete of your existence. It is the mortar of your existence. Most people are not challenging what they think or believe. That's why we're doing this show. I got more questions. How can the power of intentionality during the act of intimacy build or destroy your relationship? A lot of people don't even think about it, but they're thinking about something, right? They're thinking about something. And remember what I said, whatever you think, you create. Thought is creative, whether it be positive or negative.
Thoughts are things.
Bring about
right?
what you think about.
You are a thought architect. How can tantric sex help or hinder this situation? A lot of people don't know. Have you ever read the Kama Sutra? Kama Sutra?
I got the
Not
Prince album.
Karma Sutra. Kama Sutra.
I got the Prince album.
The word whore comes from the Sanskrit word kama. It's whore sutra. Most people don't know this.
I didn't know.
Whore meaning desire. Whore meaning want. Right? Kama Sutra is about manifestation. A lot of people don't know that. Has the patriarchy locked up the real God by making her subject to the rules of man? Maybe the pussy is the canvas from which we should paint on. No pun intended.
Too easy. I'm not going to even talk.
Woo! Hot greens, man! Let's do it! Can we do this? Can we do this show? Bobby seems to be irritated. Let's go right to Bobby.
How can I possibly be irritated, man?
How can you be irritated when you don't understand what the last 5 minutes were about?
That's white understanding. We're going to come to you in a moment.
I'm all on it.
Oh, well, you know, it's kind of boy meets girl in my frame of reference, you know. And if you have an attraction to someone that you can build on with each instance of intimacy, then you're on to something. But if it goes off the rails, maybe it plays into some of these questions that you posed.
Exactly. Listen, we got people on the line. Is Veronica on with us?
Yes.
Veronica Conway.
Yes, sir.
Can you catch our Neanderthal group of men? Can you catch us up? Because we need to understand the power of creation and the punani and the yoni. Is it good to be a whore? Can a whore be divine? Speak to that.
Well, here's the thing. So here's the get down. So what people don't understand is that this seeming polarity, the seeming paradox of a housewife versus a hoe.
Ooh.
By definition, putting a woman into either camp just means you're trying to control her. One with the whore with your judgment of her, and the housewife with you giving her your approval. So that dichotomy is actually a way to control a woman, because if a woman is wild and free, then she doesn't have to ask anyone's permission. She's unapologetic.
Veronica, it sounds like somebody is playing the banjo.
Veronica, either that or somebody is playing the bed springs in the background. Is somebody where are you?
I thought it was a hacksaw in a jail cell.
That's what it sounds like when I'm getting down in a raggedy bed. You ain't ever got down in a raggedy bed?
Okay,
trying to make
go
noise and
Veronica.
break you. I'm sorry, we're off the rails. We just heard in the background. I sound like you on set of a porno. So if you could turn that down.
That's what it sounds like you're saying on my phone?
Yes, and we heard. Say my name. Whose is it? I'm sorry.
Okay, Geoff, thank you. Veronica, let me ask you a direct question. Can the implementation of tantric sex, in your opinion, lower the divorce rate?
What's tantric?
You don't know? Oh, let's get to it. Veronica, go there. Tell Bobby what tantric is. That was a great question.
Yeah, I'm from the cave era.
Can you guys hear me better?
We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Bobby asked, what is tantric?
So Tantra, and I'm not an expert in Tantra. I think you might want to inquire with the dear man Yachama, because he blows all Tantra practitioners out of the water with his work. But Tantra is just simply a more conscious way of relating using the natural energies of the masculine and the feminine and raising vibration, creating divine interactions, creating a right state for co-creation, for manifestation. See, sex is actually meant to be a creative act. It's been degraded profoundly in our culture, partially because we have adopted this psychology around the housewife versus the hoe.
Can you talk to us more about the housewife versus the hoe? And then I'm going to throw it to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, who is in the building with us today. Just take it easy, Geoff.
I was trying to say earlier, this whole dichotomy about the housewife versus the hoe, both of those, if you really think about it and you dig deep into it, those labels put a woman in a position to be controlled.
You
can either judge the hoe, right, or you can control the housewife. But a divine whore is actually wild and free. She's unapologetic. She doesn't need your permission to be exactly who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not drained from all that it takes to walk around subject to judgment and control.
Geoff doesn't agree, but before I get to Geoff...
There's something very powerful about a woman that has a wild and free heart.
But Geoff doesn't agree, but before I get to Geoff, I know, Geoff, you're itching. I feel it when you itch. So, that's disgusting.
Yeah,
now, let me come back. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is here. Can you speak to some of the things that Veronica is speaking of?
Yes, I want to go back to Bobby's question as far as what is tantric sex.
Please.
So tantric sex originates from Eastern philosophy. see, on a Western culture, sex is, there's a beginning, middle, and end. The beginning is I'm attracted to you. The middle is penetration, and the end is the end and be all, the orgasm. Total physical pleasure, which is a selfish act. So when, I'll use you and I, for example, when you and I are in the...
I was about to say.
Bobby ain't drinking that water.
we gonna practice right now.
Bobby said, can you show me that, then you can tell me.
You figure it deals
You
me.
know, I'm sitting on my divine horse, so I won't show you, Bobby, but I will tell you.
Have mercy.
So example would be that if you and I were having Western culture sex, okay, which is not tantric sex, we would both be interacting in a selfish act because we'd be in it to please one another for as orgasmic pleasure, but ultimately pleasing ourselves. Okay, there's no internal connection based on Western culture.
In general.
Sex. In general. So tantric sex is we don't care about the physicality. We aren't focusing on the orgasm as what you focus on magnifies. We are way more focused on an internal intimacy bond between you and I, an energetic exchange. So while we're intimate, and sometimes tantric sex doesn't have to be penetration. You and I can be touching and rubbing with no type of genital touching. And so tantric sex connects us on a level where if you and I are in two different countries, our energies are still within each other.
Wow.
But see, if we are only having sex based on an orgasmic satisfaction or goal, then therefore when you leave and I leave, I can go find someone in China and still get the same pleasure orgasmic from him that you gave me. But if our connection is energetically, I cannot get your energy from not near man on the planet because you're unique.
So it's
only
surface.
you can provide me with that.
So it's surface versus soul. Go deep.
And then I think
And then Bob, and then
But let me
Geoff.
just say this though, in tantric sex, orgasm does happen. However, it happens a lot more, but it happens a lot more effectively because we're having an internal, external orgasm. We're in alignment. So the orgasm is that much more intense. And sometimes tantric orgasms can last up to 3-4 hours nonstop, literally.
We got a master on the line too. But
sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
When we come back, I will ask Veronica a very, very personal question. Think about this during the break, Veronica. Do you have a son, or do you know somebody who has a son? We'll be right back.
Of it is that we have agreed to the papal principles of disrespect for womanhood. The one who brings us all here. And that includes us, not a man thing. That's women have disrespected their role in society. Not what he said their role is, what they know their role is in nature. That is to nourish, nurture, cultivate civilization with knowledge, not with emotions. However, she lost knowledge because we've been held to servitude. So therefore, it is responsible for us to do what? To seek knowledge. And to embrace knowledge, not to fear knowledge. And to apply the wisdom that it brings. To do what? To build. Because when you build with things that are solid and not illusionary, they have a tendency to stay longer, don't they? I think so.
Feminine consciousness corresponds to the right hemisphere of the brain and the left side of the body. In contrast, masculine consciousness corresponds to the left side of the brain and the right side of the body. Patriarchal consciousness focuses on history, linear time, dogma, rationality, waking reality, and science. Matriarchal consciousness focuses on eternity, cycles of time, ritual, magic, altered states, and art. If we examine the art, we can see the characters almost always have one foot slightly forward. In some instances, they take a big step forward. In each scene, the goddess has her left foot slightly. The pharaoh, however, takes a large step with his right foot. This shows that he is grounded in the masculine. Similarly, we often see images with two left hands. It has been suggested that this is just a stylistic convention, but we should not impose our ideas on Egyptian art. Left hands suggest giving, while right hands suggest taking.
In our culture,
true memory, which is going into the energy field that makes all of our thoughts, that makes all of our cells, that projects all of our energies. So if you're thinking that you're just a physical being, I'm trying to let you know that the physical shell that we have is covering up the energy or the God-man or the God-woman or the higher self behind that tissue. And a lot of times we might hold that sperm in our body for years. And since our body has a memory, and there are certain thoughts or certain people, certain experiences trigger the memory, that's one of the reasons why you will see a woman that hates a man, or she might not want to be with him, and she gets away from him 4 years, 5 years, 7 years passes. Some spiritual teachers teach that sperm stays there for 7 years. No matter how you douche or if you don't sleep with the person or you detox, sperm can actually be in different parts of our body, and it's definitely logged into the body memory. You'll see somebody craving a man's dick that she know he ain't good for her, but the dick is good to her.
Yo, it's going crazy right now. We got people in the building. Corey Holcomb is here. Jeff Brown is here. Woo, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. We got Nichama on the line. We got Veronica Conway, Dr. G. Everybody is here to weigh in on this topic. It's about to go down. What is the vibration of a divine whore? Have we created a construct that marginalizes and minimizes female sexuality to the point that they can't reach their full creative potential because they're under duress of being called a hoe? Let's go deeper. Corey? Sorry, Jeff.
I had a question for Veronica. I was wondering if she pondered it and if she was going to answer. The question, Veronica, are you there? Hello? Hey, Veronica.
Hey.
Hey, did you hear my question?
I did hear your question. So your question is, do I have a son?
Do you have a son, or do you know someone close to you who has a son?
I do have a son.
Yes, okay. These free women of which you speak, would you like to have one of them as a daughter-in-law?
So what? So let me answer the question in context.
Yes.
So one of the things that I've done with my son is I have trained him and raised him to actually understand what freedom really means. In other words, sexuality is the force, the cosmic force that gets everything born on the planet. And it's a very, very powerful, it's a power that we wield. And so in teaching him about discernment, see, I'm not saying just go get any old girl, any old thing. I'm saying be a discerning man, but understand that sex is a natural part of who you are as a human being. There's nothing to be ashamed of, something to be. And so there is a holistic approach that I think we have to, and a mature approach that we have to begin to embrace as we raise our children and educate our children about wielding that power.
I'm a little confused because you said any old woman. Now, could you please explain the difference between any old woman and that free hoe you was talking about earlier?
This is the problem when we think about things. When we think about women in terms of dichotomies. If women were raised in a sane and mature society, then the part of her that was sexual and alive, the part of her that has that when met and activated by a conscious man, a God man, that sexual energized part informs the part of her that is creative, the housewife that gets things done, that has to work. Because those two things are split in society, in our mind, we can't seem to reconcile them. But a whole woman actually contains both. She doesn't have to sacrifice one versus the other. So when I say that I'm training my son up, what I'm saying is I'm training him in terms of what to look for and what to sense energetically about where a woman is actually coming from.
But hey, so I got a question, because I think a lot of women just don't know how to word this. Is it like you got, like she said, the two sides of women, the housewife type and everything? That's cool, but isn't there a side of a woman who needs that cervical orgasm that everybody can't give her? So like if she got a man who can't pull that off, she'll always be unhappy and talk shit.
Ooh, that's a real
because she's trying to be loyal and everything, but everybody can't do that because everybody not built like that.
Yeah, right.
But it's possible with an effective communication, right? Because if someone's not pleasing you in a certain way, if the woman has knowledge of thyself, which knowledge is power, and can tell you what she likes and how to fondle and touch and make her orgasm, she can effectively communicate that to you, being her husband.
But
that was an excellent question.
Isn't there more than one orgasm?
Absolutely.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Some guys can't do it.
Before you walked in, we just spoke about the internal orgasm, the external orgasm, them happening at the same time, being the ultimate orgasm.
And then let me do this.
My that everybody can reach.
And wait, Veronica, listen to me. Listen. We need to distinguish the conversation. We're not talking about street hoes. We're talking about consciousness. There is a spiritual component, not only to marriage, but to sex as well. So we're having this conversation about how sex can actually manifest not only the bullshit in your life, but actually manifest some good shit for your life.
Absolutely.
And we're saying there's a spiritual component to it, and we got people on the show that are going to talk about the spiritual component. Now, Doc being a sideways atheist, he might not believe in magic. Doc, how do white people manifest the power that you guys have in society today? Is it through fucking? How do you guys do it?
Swinging. They swing. That's how they satisfy.
I had to set the doctor.
We do it by being the minority here, and I dominate you outside.
I like that.
He finally answered a question. Wow. God damn.
Write this date down.
Wow. Listen, Veronica, I think Nachama is on with us right now. Brother Nachama.
Yes.
Nachama is on Skype. Can we speak to the power of manifestation, the law of attraction through sex?
Can we do what?
Speak to how sex can be used as a means of not only raising consciousness, but also creating reality.
Well, that's the very thing that it does, because that's how life comes into the planet. So you're dealing with one of the highest forms of creation there is. Give a woman a little bit of water, a little bit of food, and a sperm, and leave her in the room for 9 months, and she'll produce a fully developed human being for you without ever coming out of the room. Meaning that she had to pull every one of the constituents and elements that were needed to produce this fully developed human being. She had to attract them into that room in order to bring that birth about. So a fully developed human being has many, many, many working parts. Very tedious combination of things. So if she can do that, what's $1 million business? $1 million business has very few working parts. So if we were really actually impregnating our women with the types of things that we truly actually need in our community, then we would be manifesting a totally different community, because she is capable of bringing it about.
Wow.
That's the beauty of the woman.
See, this is what, and this is, Corey, say your point, because this is what I'm trying to get at, because this is all tying all of our shows together. Go there, Corey.
What he said is 100% correct, but the wicked men of the world know that. So they give them power in places they shouldn't have power, and it destroys the community instead of building it.
We are saying some real shit.
Here's the thing, though. We, as black men in our community, gave our women away.
Ooh.
Wow.
When?
Wow.
Tell me.
In order to get another dollar in the house, we were willing to give her up completely and let her go out and work for a man that she never even meets.
How did we do that? How did we do that?
Because on one level, if I'm bringing the level of clarity to the woman that I'm with, And if she's in any kind of a way in my corner and has my back, then for the sake of me, for the sake of herself, and for the sake of our children, the moment that I tell her I in no way want her out slaving to make somebody else rich, then she will listen to me. And then I then need to be man enough to look at my community, see what's going on there, and create an in-house business with her and maybe a couple of her friends.
Dude, you've been in my grass with binoculars.
So they can stay home and create money that, number one, I never have to tell the government about, so they never get back her. And she gets to make as much money as she wants to.
Wow!
And I'm responsible for setting that up.
That sounds like
for
him.
Let's listen.
So that they can then be generating and be creative, but without having to sell their soul to do it. Because the moment that we send them out there in that mode and have them burning mental energy all day long because they got to get so totally linear, then basically what we do is send them out there and let men that they don't even know use them until they burn up their gonads, and then they're useless to us.
Wow.
I understand what he's saying.
That's heavy.
And I agree with what he's saying, but it's just not realistic. Because, I mean, I can give you a lot of examples.
You take us to break.
I'm just saying, like, what the brother said is how we would want it to be. But the truth is, it's not that way, and it's not that way because of something that brothers are doing.
Yo, we got to take a quick break. When we come back.
We can come back and talk to that.
Woo! My God. Hey, if it ain't jumped off the rails yet, it just is getting close. We'll be back at 2.2.
Not only is everything just energy just passing through us, there are also words passing in that energy. A man's thoughts, what he's thinking when he is penetrating your vagina, that thought is actually registering inside of our vagina. Every part of our body that has been touched by anybody. If a man is touching your breast, if a man is touching your face, your lips, he's kissing you, he's penetrating your vagina. And if he has any negative thoughts about us, if he has any unsure views about this relationship, does he love you? Does he not love you? Is he really concerned about you? Does he think about your well-being? Does he want to marry you? Or he might even be in a relationship or in a marriage with you, and he's not sure where that relationship is going. Well, while he is penetrating you, while he is touching your breast and your mouth and every part of your body, he's caressing your body, everything that he is thinking is being transferred through that energy and through that touch into your body. So we're walking around with a lot of body energy, a lot of negative body memory, and we don't even realize that we have the negative body memory. Or we might know we have low self-esteem, we might know we have a lot of dysfunctional thoughts from a particular sex relationship, but we don't realize why we're holding it or how we got it. That's why a lot of us, when we're dealing with men that see us on the side, or that don't want to commit to us, or that abuse us, or won't leave their wife for us, won't leave their girlfriend for us, or even if they're with us, we're really not satisfied in the relationship. We keep laying down with them. We keep letting their vagina, their penis penetrate our vagina, and we're holding them. Then they're layering all of the negative thoughts, all of their dysfunction, all their insecurity. They're layering that into our vagina tissue memory.
Oh, guys,
here
we go.
I'm not an imaginary
listen.
doctor. I'm not an imaginary nothing.
Listen.
I'm real. Everything I say, I really am that person. I'm
This
not
thing has
imaginary.
turned-
But a lot of people are imaginary.
I This agree thing with has you on that. turned- No, I
Put
said I
doctor in
agree.
front of their name to make them feel like they're doing something. It's a lot
And make them feel like they're in
imaginary
control
people
and that
in
they
the
have
world.
power, right? And make them feel like they have power, right, Corey? I agree with you.
Well, when you open your mouth, people learn a lot about you.
They do.
So
that's what I was just saying.
Keep
Is that when
chasing
we
the government
speak,
and making them happy.
when we
You keep
speak
doing
about
because there's
again,
people like me
when we
who don't give a fuck about the
and
government.
that's the problem. And
All
that
right,
is the
all right.
challenge.
Listen,
That's
we're
the
back
issue.
live. We're
when
back
the black
live.
culture
Hold
talks about
on.
not giving a fuck about
Hold
the
on.
government,
Hold
there is
on.
an issue
Hold
because
on.
that's where drug dealing comes in at. That's where the community degrading comes in
Cheyenne,
at.
this is the Zoe Williams show. Hey, y'all, this is the Zoe Williams show. Can Zoe Williams talk on the goddamn Zoe Williams show when you walked in?
Thank you,
The
Joe.
Your
government put
name
drugs
wasn't
in
on
the
the
black
fucking
community.
sign.
Thank
This
you.
is not Harold's Chicken. This is not Carl's Jr.
Junior, God damn it, this is the McZo show. Can we have a fucking McZo burger in here for a minute? Thank you so much. And now to the host of the goddamn show, who will speak next after the black woman on my right stopped talking, Zoe Williams.
And we're back. Hey, it really blew up. Listen, during the break footage is going to be bananas because it broke out.
Do we show that?
Huh?
We show that?
Yeah,
we do.
Somebody gonna see your social ass out.
All right, so
They're gonna see you want the government to look out for you.
So listen, it's important that we deal with this because this is a microcosm of what's happening out in the world in terms of black men and women relations. So it's important that this kind of stuff gets out there. We're talking about the divine whore, right? I did the research. I looked up the word whore, and it's an English word, goes all the way back to Sanskrit. And when people buy that book, the Kama Sutra, the word Kama before sutra means whore, but it has a totally different meaning. It means desire. It means someone who can produce something, someone who can create something. The Kama Sutra is a tool for manifestation via sex. And what I believe, when you look at the statistics out here in the world, 27 million couples, and some would even estimate 40 million married couples, sexless relationship, because they're just depending on each other financially. What is the number one indicator of wealth in America? Marriage. The number one indicator of poverty in America? Divorce. Again, a lot of people don't have spiritually intimate relationships. What they have are business arrangements. And that's why there's no intimacy and thus no building in that relationship. That's why I'm doing this show. Is there a way we can allow our woman to be that divine hoe for us? Is it possible? How can we spark the hoe in her to help us create the universe we want to live in? Corey?
I think you need to teach men at a young age how to recognize a whore and how to not give in to the desires of wanting to be in a relationship with a whore, because a whore is always going to show you who she is. And if you ignore it, that's on you.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
You can't hold it in.
So is there a way we can separate the connotation of hoe from the denotation of hoe? Because the denotation of hoe is creator. The connotation of hoe might be someone who is self-unrealized, living a psychology outside of that knowledge of self. Like we had a lot of black sisters in America that are as aggressive as men because they've been positioned in America to take her man's spot. Can we speak to the she-males? Women who act like men because they have a good education, because they have finances, and then they have this concept that men are somehow useless. Nachama, Dr. Phil Valentine, do we have these people online?
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil's here too.
What's up, Dr. Phil?
Hello?
Greetings.
Are you here, Dr. Phil?
Yes, I am.
Did you hear what I just said, brother?
What's up, Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil.
Dr.
You know
Phil,
I don't like him.
Dr. Phil Valentine, my brother, is on the line. Did you hear the question I just laid out there?
Not the big goofy Dr. Phil, the real Dr. Phil.
The real Dr. Phil Valentine. Did you hear the question, brother?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so you were on mute. I was just saying, how can we cultivate our women to be our personal divine whore? And when I said divine whore, I'm not talking about the Putin, right? I'm not talking about the prostitute. I'm not talking about someone that is bereft of knowledge of self. I'm talking about the divine whore who is in alignment with the creator of existence, who brings shit forward. Can we speak to that?
Well, you have to understand it from a metaphysical perspective, what I call netaphysical, not meta, but neta, N-E-T-E-R, neta being God. So we deal with metaphysics here, which is God physics. So what we're dealing with is what we call the triple black mother. The triple black mother is the whore of Babylon, and they meant the whore of Babylon. We're not talking about a whore that walks the streets. We're talking about matter, M-A-T-E-R, M-A-T-T-E-R, matter, the principle of matter. And the thing is that matter can be woven, which is mater, the mother, can be woven and be influenced to do anything, to bring forth anything. So if you don't understand how to have a marriage of the mind with the material world, or have a marriage of the mind to the one who represents the triple black mother, then whatever it is you seed into her will be either your joy or your consequence. So what has to happen is, as men, especially black men, we need to step up and take our women back from the influence of this Western maggot-brained entity that she is now infested with. Because she being the soil, you can plant anything in her. You can bring forth anything from her. So we have to change the whole nature of the environment in which we nurture her.
Wow. That is a great response. Veronica, I know you have a question for Nechama, and then I'm going to have Dr. Bobby G close us out. Veronica, ask Nechama a question, because you have a list of questions. Can you pose one to him?
Yes, Nechama. So I would love, because I want to circle back to what Corey said about how it's, there's an ideal. There's what we would want to bring forth on the planet in terms of sane relating between the masculine and the feminine and to restore the divine feminine. But Corey, I heard you, Corey, when you said it seems impossible given the forces that oppose us. But I think that, Nechama, you probably have the big picture on that, because you are a global, universal manifester, and you've been doing this for a minute.
Long time. Yeah, well, first of all, you have to realize one thing. Each person that comes here to this planet has a responsibility to live out his divine destiny. And this requires us to train our minds and come to a point where we realize what our conditioning has been. And then we've got to get down in there and actually take the responsibility to look at how we're acting it all out. Both men and women. I need to come fully into my divine masculine, stand there and hold that energy. Even if the woman is screaming and pulling her hair out and falling down in the middle of the floor, I need to let her know that I love her, I got her back, but I will never support that childishness in her. She needs to come up to the place where she can meet me as a spiritual being and do her spiritual work in the same way that I have to do my spiritual sadhana. I in no way want to be in constant argument with her about the very things that she knows she needs to do, and yet she continuously has no accountability.
Wow.
She never owns what needs to be done.
In other words, bitches act like it's somebody else fucking up.
Wow. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Never Dr. G.
I listen to these things on different wavelengths. So I have a question, and this may just show my white ignorance here.
Of course.
But it seems to me that once upon a time, black men and black women trusted and respected each other.
Wow.
And they don't now.
Not in America.
And that's going on. That goes on. That goes.
Y'all showed up.
Thank you. He said the same thing I said.
What'd he say?
I said not in America. He said not since y'all showed up.
Wow.
but
that's
y'all
real.
Come in, and that's how y'all do. Y'all divide and conquer.
Yes.
So you had to divide us because the amount of power that exists between black men and black women, if they come together, you would already have gone back home.
That's
damn.
Real. That's
you
real,
had to
though.
divide us.
Okay,
you had to split us up. You had to put her over the men so that you could turn the whole table upside down. And now you get to program her from the cradle to the fucking grave.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Okay, so
damn.
She think the government her savior.
So until we recede from whence we came, does that mean that black men and black women cannot trust and respect each other? Because
Bobby?
we have done such a good job of dividing and conquering them.
Bobby?
Do you think white women and white men trust one another?
Not much
you
at all.
being a missionary,
No,
but you ain't got that in your own culture.
No, we
I
don't.
work with your culture. I know them upside down and backwards.
We don't have it in our culture, but I think what we talked about in the show a lot is your culture has been decimated by the breach between black men and black women.
Only because you think so.
Bobby, take us to break. Take us to break, Bobby.
All right, here's what I got to say about this. Perception has become reality to the extent that what people believe is what they act out on. And the points that we've made and we're going to make when we come back from this break, we'll hopefully break this thing down to the point of what's possible and what's truly impossible. We'll be right back.
Oh my God, how he has a rap career is beyond me. I don't get it. And he takes his shirt off. Oh my God, he looks like 50 pounds of chewed Tootsie Rolls with his...
All right. Now, you are in white fashion. You know white boys always leave the house like they finna help somebody move.
Resist and defend the horrible hoes. There are some horrible people. And what you need to do is start policing your own. Today, my rant is about happiness, pure, plain, old happiness. I am happy. I am happy that we are at this place of awakened consciousness. I am happy that there is a show like this, that if you look at it a little deeper, maybe if you get yourself an ice bong or a vape and watch this shit, you will see some deeper level subtext here. You will see men interacting with women. You will see uncomfortable white people. You will see... and not that all that shit that we say is your fault. It's not your fault. But your great granddaddy wasn't shit.
You
now,
are white ambassador.
yes, it ain't you. It's them. I am happy that this dialogue is here. I am happy that the concept of a PhD, the concept of an education is crumbling, that we are beginning to see that on the wall, your sheepskin is basically $200,000-$300,000 receipt. We are beginning to see what is real, because this illusion that has been propped up by a dollar that no longer really exists, if you really, really look at it, is crumbling. That I am happy to see that my son will not be putting up with the bullshit that I put up with, because by the time that he is 21, the curtain will be fully down. We won't have to have conversations like this, because we will all just be. Now smoke some weed and listen to what I said.
Jeff Brown, intellectual rant, Zoe Mornings back in the building. The topic is on fire. Listen, thought is creative. And if there's no spiritual component to your relationship, you don't really know the meaning of what a relationship is for. Joseph Campbell, right? The guy who inspired George Lucas to write Star Wars, right? Joseph Campbell said, relationship, love, and marriage is a spiritual ordeal. Who taught you that it was a fantasy? You don't recognize that the fantasy is your enemy. If you don't enroll in relationship as a perpetual student, you just flunked that course in the knowledge of self, and you'll be condemned to repeat that over and over and over again. Dr. Phil, you in the building? Talk to us.
I'd like to if I knew what I was talking about.
You not knowing what the topic is, the divine whore? Let me ask you again. What is the vibration of a divine whore? How would a man, right, know he's encountered a divine whore? And what should he do if he does? That's the Nechama too. Let's go, Dr. Phil. Answer that for me.
Well, the first thing he has to be is the divine pimp, if you want to look at it that way. to understand, first and foremost, as a man, and act like a man, be a man, do the things that a man does, so that you amplify who you are as a man, testosterone moving in all righteous directions. You don't need to be twerking. You don't look like you want to twerk. You want to do work. You don't want to twerk. So when you start going about your thing as a man, automatically the instincts of a man will pick up the righteous woman. In fact, a righteous woman will know exactly what a man looks like and become a woman when he is the man. But he's too busy trying to be what she is because society has made her to be what he is. So when he recognizes, what he does is when he recognizes her, he approaches her with the kind of authority that a man who is supposed to be in charge and act like he's in charge, a benevolent dictator, and do it the righteous way, do it with love, compelling love. You know you're supposed to sacrifice love to get power, and women are supposed to sacrifice the power to get love. So when we understand that particular equation and begin to exchange those dynamics, then we can find one another.
Bobby, and then the chama.
The brother described an era that's been so long ago that we've lost the concept of that and the evidence of that. And we're stuck with this mess right now, you know. And I was asking myself the other day, I said, man, when did it really happen that we moved away from defined roles to the point where everybody was comfortable with that and understood that? And as we deal with 2014, that's the biggest challenge, is to reclaim a certain amount of turf and have it done willingly and willfully. And that's the greatest challenge that we have. What is a man in 2014? What is a woman in 2014?
Nachama, I need you to speak on this, brother. Talk to us.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to bring into the mix is this. We got to come back to the body. This life belongs to the body. This body was encoded with everything that it came here to do. We've lost touch with it. So first of all, there's total trauma in both men and women that is encapsulated in your very tissue of your cells. And as a result of that, one of the things that I did was create a type of body work that starts to remove the trauma out of the body so that the spirit can inhabit the body again. As long as the spirit is pushed out of the body from all this tension, all this holding on, all this lack of knowing how to breathe, as long as all that's going on in that body can in no way be a divine temple. Because it never has the currency that it was imbued with running through it unobstructed. The moment that currency is running through you properly, then you will actually realize you don't really need money the way you think you need money, because you are the currency. Wow. But you got to know how to make sure that you're moving through your life giving value for value. I don't need money. If I come to you and I can throw down with whatever it is that I say I do, and the moment you see that I'm doing that, whatever you got that you have a surplus of, I know you will give me half of it.
Wow. Corey?
The government will never allow a man like this to speak on any network in America because they know what he's simply saying right now is so powerful. He could change the way a lot of women out there who don't have no idea or think like this think.
Wow. I'm gonna change them.
I believe you, brother.
I believe you, brother.
I know you know
Absolutely.
what you're talking about. I know you know what you're talking about.
Oh, my God.
Man, that was so powerful. Veronica Conway, can you speak to what is the vibration of a divine whore? How would a man know he has encountered one? And what should he do when he does, if he does ever find himself so lucky to find a divine whore, as opposed to the regular putins that's running around this motherfucker free?
You call them putins?
Putin. Where's the putin?
You've got to create your divine whores.
Veronica, is she on? Can you hear Veronica?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of the question. So What's the question to me?
It is, what is, and Nechama answered it too. He said you got to create your divine whore, which is dope. But the question was, what is the vibration of a divine whore? How would a man know he has encountered one? And what should he do if he finds himself so lucky to encounter one?
Well, I mean, what I would say, part of what you will recognize and what you can sense in a woman that has been recalibrated into her divine nature is that you will notice the absence of control. You will notice the presence of surrender, not to every man, but to real men. Right?
Ouch! Ouch! Damn!
Right? So there's a quality. I mean, I guess in street vernacular we could call it like good pussy, but it really is an emanation, a vibration that spills off of her that is feminine, and men sense it.
My Lord.
But they also sense that she's jammed up, stuck.
Okay,
in a
wait.
masculine posture,
Veronica,
wait.
Veronica, we're going to come back to you on this one because we got to take a quick break. But before we do, I got to speak to this. You can't force your man or try to manipulate and control your man into fitting your hurt mama's relationship template.
God damn.
Right? A lot of times that happens. Your broken mama has given you a broken pathway to follow. This is what I mean. We don't do transgenerational wealth, right? We don't transfer wealth. We transfer trauma. And then that becomes the blueprint. And then you try to control your man and make him fit a hurt locker template. He can't make you happy in order to make your mama satisfied. You got to use that relationship as a blueprint, as a roadmap, the yellow brick road to understanding yourself and the shit your mama gave you as either a gift or a curse. We'll be right back. Show's off the top. We'll be back with Corey.
What you call it, mama?
It feels like love. It feels like being loved. It feels like loving. It feels like adoring. It feels like sureness. It feels like certainty. It feels like confidence. It feels like knowing. It feels like being. It feels like me. It feels like home. It feels real. It feels certain. It feels honest. It feels open. It feels open-ended. It feels expansive. It feels delicious. It feels fun. It feels exciting. It feels captivating. It feels enticing. It feels passionate. It feels vital. It feels alive. It feels full. It feels real. It feels like me. You see?
Yeah.
Now, that's way more than 68 seconds. And you accomplish so much when you just, and now all the questions are gone, the grid is just right, the energy is moving, the grid is filling in. It does not, the details of it do not matter. The relationship in its fullness cannot feel better than that. Cannot feel better than that. In other words, because all those things and all those details that are coming that you want are all because you want to feel like you just felt.
Yes.
So you just made an end run around the unnecessary manifestation and you captured the emotional, vibrational resonance of what you're looking for, and you just became a vibrational match to what's in your vortex. And now, like water flows downhill, so this soft, gentle, comfortable, easy momentum. So now what's happened? Now you've done grid work, and you have, because we didn't pull that out of thin air. We pulled it right out of your vortex, right out of the core of who you are. It's who you are. It's why you felt it. It's why you resonate with it so deeply. So now you've done this grid work. What's happened is the vibration of that which you are and the vibration of that which you want are in the same place.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amit Agarwal, naturopathic doctor and psychotherapist. I want to share with you one of my favorite exercises from my new book. This exercise is called Noticing What Went Well, and it actually has the power to change your entire brain's chemistry. What I'd like you to do to start off with is every evening before you go to bed, I want you to spend 5 minutes thinking about all the little things that went well for you during that day. And the next morning, spend 5 minutes doing the same thing. It could be small things like a dog came in and licked your fingers, if you like dogs, or somebody cooked a wonderful meal for you, or a beautiful person smiled at you. Whatever went well, commit yourself and fill in those 5 minutes with only positive experiences. why this works
All right,
better than just thinking about positive thoughts is that
She will destruct and destroy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Zoa Morning Show back in the building. Only on T-Radio V, exclusively here, radioandtv.com, Mondays, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know how we do. It's crazy, 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 crazy. Got a house full of guests, got some phone guests. It's off the charts. Dr. G has a question for Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Veronica Conway.
Well, to tee it up, I'm gonna flip a coin. Call it heads or tails, Cheyenne. I have a method of my madness.
Heads.
It's heads. So you go first, and then the other side would have been Corey could have gone first. So here's the.
I wanted Corey to go first.
Well, okay, so you can.
No, it's okay. I can go. I'll go.
Okay,
No problem.
So I want Veronica and you to answer the question: what do men going forward need to do and stop doing so you'll want to get with them in all ways? The question I was going to ask Corey, which he'll go next, is Corey and Geoff. What is it we want to do, and that women should just listen to us?
Okay.
Interesting.
And so my question is, what do men need to do so that we can have a we partnership instead of an I partnership?
You versus me or I. So going forward, just go with it. You know, if men would just do this consistently and stop doing this, I think we'd really, we just want to jump all over them spiritually, sexually, everything. What would it be?
Okay. I can't say men in general because I don't think that women are cookie cutter. I think that we all have our own personal desires that we want or desire in a man. But I know I can speak for myself. For me, what a man would need to be, not do, but be in his being, because doing and being is two different things, would be to take his image and his costume off of this tough guy, black man that society nowadays has them thinking in their illusion that they have to wear. Now, I'm not saying that they're wearing that always by choice. I'm saying that that costume and that image has been developed over time because of some of what Corey was saying, of the oppression that they have experienced, because of some inferiority issues that were implemented in their DNA and in their environment because of what they've gone through with, you know, other races, white races and so forth, in slavery. And so for me, a man for me would need to be in contact with his authentic self. He would have had to gone through the process of healing to get out and remove that inferiority issue that a lot of them carry and the institutionalization that they carry against white people in general, that ends up being projected onto me as a black woman when I'm just trying to be your black queen to a king. And so when I come home and I am this strong black woman who, remember, I'm in the world as well, going against other women of my race and white races. So when I come home and I'm still showing strength, I need you to be able to match my strength, not take it as I'm emasculating you. Why don't you match me and work with me? And if you are unable, what?
Interesting. Okay, this is good stuff.
Okay,
we got to get Veronica in.
Veronica.
We got to get Veronica in too. Veronica, can you speak to that?
Okay. Yeah. So, from my perspective, a man needs to give up the need for his mama's approval, drop down into his penis and his balls, find the alpha male king that resides there, and feed me with that so that I can go out and give birth to his intentions and create a better reality.
Oh my God, I love you for that. Oh wow.
Everybody in the engineering room is on the floor.
I was about to turn green and rip out my clothes on some shit you said.
But she just cleaned it all out.
Women have forgotten. Wow.
I don't want to get out of the way.
So let me, if I can summarize what the two of you said. It sounds like you're saying, stop trying to prove, show, or hide something and just be a man.
You sabotage the ego, because all it does, I mean, crucify your ego, all it does is sabotage your relationship, your opportunity, and everything else. And we see that go on every day. Self-sabotage goes on every day in the black culture, period. Black men sabotage their opportunities because
unwinding our conditioning
we're talking about black
is the work
culture, right? He
that
said
has
man.
to be done, not just for men, but for women too. We have got to begin to do the work of unwinding our conditioning and our damage so that we can, listen, if we did that and we were interacting with each other and we were in the creation, in the manifestation, it'd be game over. We wouldn't have to be a response to white supremacy. We wouldn't have to be a response to racism. We would actually be causing the universe that we desire. But we have got to get healed first. We can't do
Jeff
it.
Jeff Brown,
Thank
Doc,
you.
Jeff Brown, Doc, Bobby.
To respond to something that you just said, anytime that black people throw themselves into the conversation of just people without first addressing their problem, that's like me standing on my porch looking at your grass talking about how tall it is while my house is on fire. Never ever can you say, well, we're just talking about people. We're talking about black
That's
people
what I
and
said.
black
We're
people.
talking
No, it's
about
not.
black
You said
No.
Right,
I said
right,
we're talking about
wait.
the black culture. I said we're talking about black people. Corey said that's people in general. I said I'm talking about black people. That's
Dr. G?
exactly what I said.
Dr. G.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I said, baby.
So to Corey and Jeff. So the question, what is it that you need? Because I guess you don't need anything, but what is it that you need from women going forward, so that you could partner with them, or do you want them to just listen to what you're saying?
Go
ahead, Corey.
You don't need nothing as far as it go with going out looking for something. What you are supposed to have is going to present itself. If you go out there looking for something, I'm telling you, right? The thirstiness will show, right? Because people cannot hide who they are, especially once they start talking. They say stuff where you be like, I need everything I need to know about it. It's right there. A 5-minute conversation with somebody is all you need.
Okay, so let's ding.
To understand where they coming from.
Okay, so let's, obviously you don't like the words because you're guys are needing anything. So what do you want from women going forward? Okay, so that you'll be able to do it.
You want me? Can I hit
You
it?
don't need anything.
Hit
what do
it,
you want from
hit
them?
it, and then go to Bobby, and then I got to get in the Chama and Phil in. Come on, guys.
It seems like
pussy, it ain't no thing.
Exactly. It seems like the concept of need, of us saying we don't need anything, rubs you the wrong way. Where I'm coming from with that is that inherently we are born with everything we need. Second, our needs are not being met socially by the place that you are coming from. So anything that I need, I should not be looking outside of anywhere but myself. I love you, Doc, but I'm gonna tell you what, if I'm looking for some wisdom, if I'm looking for something I really need, I'm gonna look at that cat first, because that cat has walked a road that you cannot, it's impossible for you to walk. That's the first place I'm coming. That's what I need. What I need from my woman is not to kiss, to be able to tell the difference between kissing my ass and not kicking it.
Woo! Bobby!
You need your woman to just talk, and you'll know everything you need to know.
Yes, sir.
Bobby!
Well, I need to be loved and cared for. And I'm not going to make any apologies for that because I'm a human being. Now, if I'm perceived as soft for that, then that ain't the person I need to be dealing with. And I need to recognize that, not necessarily her, but it needs to be understood coming in the door. I need to be loved and cared for, because when I walk out this door, it's me in this world. And I got to come back to something that re-energizes me. All right, so it's all the other stuff is secondary to me. I got to be loved and cared for in order to be able to fight that battle that will, I think, enrich both our lives. That's how I look at relationships, male, female.
Wow. We got to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm coming right to Dr. Phil and Nachama to really build on the spirit aspect of it, because people don't understand. Sex is spiritual, and it builds. So the question is, what are you building? We're going to go into that when we come back.
But I'm reinventing for better, for worse, reciting.
Now this is Wayne. Outside you see his body, inside you see the guy within. Even though he's a chaos kid, he still wants to be a good person. But the problem is that events come into his life, and these events have no meaning. They cannot have meaning until they reach a little organ inside Wayne's brain called the amygdala, represented by this keyhole, containing the question, what does this mean? Now this little organ is constantly searching for meaning, and always asks the question in search of meaning for every event. Now that wouldn't be bad, if not for Wayne's little voice inside his head. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's that condemning little voice you hear that brings out the worst by urging you to do the very things you don't want to do. Here's a tip. The worse your childhood, the stronger this voice is in your adult life. And Wayne, well, he had a strong one. What the little voice inside your head does is grab a memory that's bad from your past and connects it to the event happening right now. Happens in less than a second. So Wayne himself didn't know what was going on. It's the little voice inside your head that tells your amygdala what the event means, and it constantly tries to say that event is bad. Now when that happens, the amygdala shuts your brain down, so now Wayne can't think straight. But it gets worse. What happens next is that the little voice inside Wayne's head begins to
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. The Zoa Morning Show off the charts. I'm telling you right now, the during the break segment
is ridiculous.
Is ridiculous too. It is fire right now. Nechama and Dr. Phil are on the line with us right now, and this is a very powerful topic that we're dealing with. I need us to understand, you know, what the housing of a relationship is for. The great Krishnamurti said relationship is a mirror in which one will learn himself through. He said all life is relationship, and if you're not in relationship, you're not alive. So if we're not getting these reflections back to understand who we are, our deficiencies, our weaknesses, in a way, our curriculum, what are we doing? Far too many people are using relationship as a means to escape the mediocrity of their average life. Man. Can we be honest with that? Wow. So, that's strong. Now if we lay this down, how do we get them back on that track to using relationship as a means for soul therapy? Dr. Phil, then Nityama. Dr. Phil, do we have him? Dr. Phil.
Did you hear the question? Voice is breaking up.
Could you hear any of that?
Yes.
All right, so answer that question for me, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, we mentioned.
Answer the question because I've been put on hold.
Got you. So
I've been muted for all this time.
Sorry about that, brother. We got limited technology over here.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up very badly.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to Nechama first, and then we're going to make sure we get Dr. Phil's line. So, Nyama, did you hear what I said, brother?
No, I didn't hear it either.
All right, so I'm going to set it up again. Relationship as a mirror. The mirror reflects back the curriculum you are to use to evolve yourself. I said far too many people are using relationship as a means to escape into some unrealistic expectation / fantasy in order to make themselves happy. Once they get the relationship, they start getting these reflections back, which are uncomfortable, difficult, or whatever. And then now, let me get out of this relationship and get into another one without actually taking those reflections serious or implementing the lessons that come with them. How can we start to reprogram people to see relationship as a relationship hospital for the soul? Can we go into that?
Well, first of all, there's no such thing as a ship. All those end up out at the ocean trying to figure out how to get back to shore. There is only relating. And the only reason to relate to any human being is for the purpose of becoming more conscious. If that is in no way what you're entering into it for, then it's already doomed before you get started. It's just a matter of time. So I need to come in realizing that that's the purpose of relating, is for me to keep elevating my consciousness. I'm using the outer person just as a mirror to reflect back to me the internal parts of me that are less visible to me. So a woman is my outer barometer to let me know what my internal relationship is to my own internal female. If my outer relationship is a mess, then my internal relationship with my own feminine side is also in shambles.
That is heavy. Corey Holcomb wanted to ask Nityama if you have any children, and then we want to make sure that we got Dr. Phil back and his connection is good. Nityama, he wanted to know if you have any children, brother.
Yes, I have 9 children.
Hey, I was wondering if my kids could hang with your kids so they can learn all this stuff they need to know, brother. I be running all the time, but I know who you are. I know who you are, brother. Trust me.
Yeah.
It don't take me long to know who somebody is.
Yeah.
That's somebody people need to listen to.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Dr. Phil, are you there with me, brother? And damn.
There's nothing bigger than that.
I feel strongly about the brother Dr. Phil, too.
Dr. Phil is my guy, man. That's my guy. We got to get him back. Let's make sure we get him back. Chris, I put it on you.
Can you cut your camera back on Skype? because it went off too.
Oh, well, we can see you, brother. We got you.
I know.
So let's keep it going. Veronica, are you there with us? Is Veronica with us? Yes. Yes. Veronica Conway, can you hear me? Veronica Conway.
Wow, we got.
Oh, yeah. Jesus. Veronica, we're using Magic Jack right now.
I mean, I'm trying to hang in here. Can you hear me?
Let me ask you this. I got you now. Can I ask you this, Veronica? Can tantric sex be used therapeutically? And Veronica will tell us what tantric, because Corey wants to know what tantric means as well. Can tantric sex be used therapeutically to heal a couple? You understand what I'm saying? As opposed to, say, maybe going to therapy traditionally. Is that a viable means of healing? Y'all talking while I'm trying to set this up. What in the feast of Sam Hain is going on?
I'm gonna talk about it in the context of conscious sex.
Yes.
So in conscious relating, what needs to happen is that the man needs to bring enough intentionality and firepower and attention into his genitals.
But wait. You said that, but you have to understand, we need to understand what that means and what is the process of doing that.
You just said put your phasers on stun. I don't even know what a phaser is.
Right. So I need to know what that means.
So in other words, so many times when men are interacting with women, they are interacting they're in a fantasy. They're either in some story about some porn that they have viewed. They're in some story about some other woman. They're not present. They don't have any attention and presence and awareness in the tips of their fingers, in the tip of their penis. They're not bringing their intentionality to her, dropping down into his body and bringing his intentionality to her. As he begins to cultivate that level of presence, then she can begin to burn off all of the toxic things and conditioning that she has taken into her psyche from a planet gone wild.
Veronica, really quick, if a man does what you're talking about, dropping into his nuts, finding his testicular fortitude, and then connecting that with his intention, can he heal her of some of her trauma?
Absolutely. That is part of the purpose of conscious relating. That's why the way that we're using it is such an abuse. It is not only can he heal her, but as she becomes more clarified, more clear, less traumatized, less fearful, then she can begin to manifest. He can drop intentions into her and have her give birth to them.
Veronica, all of that sounds fantastic, except for the and this is the only part I beg to differ with, is the energy required in order to revitalize this woman when just the math doesn't dictate. I'm just going to go right here. Black women outnumber us 8.5 to 1. I think when you dig down and find that part of you, that woman that you're supposed to be with will come to you. And you ain't got to magnetize the other 7. You ain't even got to deal with the one you ain't got to worry about the other 7. I'm not fixing no flats.
But one of the things that we have to
I'm a fan of monogamy and of I've never said that I necessarily believe it. Listen, if it's a 1-to-8 ratio, then let the math line up. But men have to be in a different posture in their consciousness to be able to manage 1 woman, 2 women, 8 women. You have to be operating
at a higher level of consciousness to even be doing that shit.
Sorry,
Bobby.
We used to just call that being hot. You know, if you was just hot for somebody, all of those words that have flowed through these microphones, that's just what comes out in that situation. You know, in the feel, the touch, the fire, the foam. You know,
that's
all
a
of
different
that,
thing, Uncle Bob.
Hey, my son's mother will tell you the first thing I ever said to her in life was, "Can I have some pussy?" And that was kind of shocking to her at first. But after she got to know me, she understood where I was coming from. And she realized I wasn't really a bad guy. I just wanted to tell her what was really on my heart since she was looking at me.
Wow. Doc G.
You know, Veronica, I think I think what you're talking about is everybody likes someone who takes charge. That doesn't mean, but people don't like people who are controlling.
Man, that's rape today, though. If you take charge
No,
without
no,
permission.
no, that's controlling. Controlling obliterates the other person out of your own insecurity, whereas taking charge is an expression of your manhood and all that, and your womanhood.
Date rape is an opinion.
Around in his natural alpha kingly state, he doesn't have to do anything to have power in the scenario.
That's
a
it.
woman will recognize that, perceive that, and surrender without apology.
My son
He
what?
is polarized to his masculinity.
That's a great point. We got to go to Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, I mean, we're talking about, in my opinion, reality building. How do we choose the right person in order to build a reality that speaks to our highest good? How, I mean, because choosing is everything when it comes to relationships, right? How do we get to the point where we choose the right person in order to build the right reality? Can you speak to that, Dr. Phil?
That's the core question.
Well, most of it at this point is trial and error. We haven't really done the kind of investigative analysis on ourselves to know what we wanted first. If we are not trained in some way, or at least disciplined in some way, to understand and overstand where we are within the scheme of all things, what our potentials for maximizing our gifts are, and being able to recognize those who are doing the same along our line, then we're never going to do that. I just say that there's something in us, a radar, a barometer that we carry with us from life to life. And then in that face that we see different reminiscences of those faces that throughout those thousands of lives that we had before. We see the joy or the sorrow or the pain, and there's one face in that crowd, one face that doesn't even seem to be the face, and then somehow we lock into that person. We thought that all the other beautiful faces and all the strong bodies were the ones we wanted. But then when it comes to it, you see some of these brothers out here and sisters have people that don't even look like they belong together. But no, it was something that they found in each other's eyes, something that they found in each other's words, the sound of the voice, the odor, the smell that they had. These are all memories. We know who it is we're looking for. We just don't remember who we're looking for. And when that comes in a time when we start investigating ourselves, when we begin to know and love ourselves and not be worried about whatever it is that anybody else is saying we should be or look like, we're going to find the real people because we're real with ourselves.
Wow.
What's the place of someone being open to you versus closed to you in all kinds of ways? What's the place of that in a relationship? When you're, how important is openness? Openness to life, openness to learning, openness to you versus someone who's closed. And
yeah, that's a great point, Doc, because I see that as concretized hurt. It's like grooves on a record. My mama was hurt, my daddy was hurt, and now I'm hurt. Again, it's not parenting, it's modeling. They're modeling you. Most people don't understand that. If you don't reconcile the hurt little boy or the hurt little girl in you, right? You're teaching hurt. Hurt is the philosophy. Hurt is the religion. Trauma is the belief.
Yeah, you can't get open if you don't look at yourself.
If you catch your girl going through your phone and you bop her upside the head and she don't say nothing, she ain't got no response, that means that's either your queen or that bitch is homeless.
Okay, we gotta take a quick break. Corey Holcomb. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna advertise everybody's gifts and products, and Final Thought is coming. We'll be back at 2.2 Zoa Mornings. Ladies and gentlemen, so what mornings? As you guys know, I end the show. I try to summarize everything. There's no way we can answer all your questions in 2 hours with so many brilliant people on the panel. At first, I want to extend a great thanks out to the brother Nityama, the brother Dr. Phil Valentine, Corey Holcomb, Bobby Glanton Smith, Dr. G, Mark Goulston, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Veronica Conway, Jeff Brown, my whole team, Chris, everybody who chimed in to participate in this show is important. This is about getting the dialogue out there. I don't smoke weed, so I don't have altered states of consciousness like Jeff when, smoking weed, coming up with these ideas. I was watching the Discovery Channel or the Science Channel yesterday about the universe. And it was talking about how the black hole, a massive black hole, scientists have discovered, sits at the center of every universe. There's a black hole. Immediately, I thought, that's a giant pussy. Because it destroys and it creates. The magnetism in it, the gravity, it's infinite gravity. Men are always chasing the pussy. We're always chasing that black hole. The Nation of Islam teach that we came out of triple stage darkness. There's nothing darker and deeper than a black hole. So some will see it as a destructive force. Others will see it as a creative force. The bottom line, a black hole is what you put into it. Right? So is the woman. She is what we put into her. She can be destructive as a black hole. She can be as magnetic as one too. But if we put in our bullshit into her, we're going to have a disformed universe. Because that's the purpose of the black hole, is to create a universe. The Milky Way is a universe. We live here. It is the foundation of life. So is the woman. We put bullshit, faulty beliefs on her. She will create a bullshit, faulty reality for us. A woman, and I always use the battery metaphor. All the power in a battery comes from the feminine side, the negative side. It don't come from the masculine side. The masculine side directs it. So guess what the black hole is doing? The black hole is pulling in even light. Light can't even escape from a black hole, right? You can't escape from your mama and the trauma she gave you. You can't escape from your woman and the hurt she placed in your heart. But guess what it does when it sucks all of that shit in? It shoots it all the way back out as light. It directs light. Dude, your woman can direct your beliefs if you're in tune with the reality of who you are. If you just somebody that's looking for a warm meal and a soft ass, she gonna get tired of that. She's gonna grow, what's the word I'm looking for? She's not complacent. She's gonna grow resentful because there's something in her that requires more from you that is connected to God. And if she can't get God from you, or when I say get God, I mean reflect God, because sometimes a reflection of God reminds you that you're God, right? Relationship is God fucking himself. God being intimate with himself. If you can't fuck creation out of your woman, that's why I always tell men, fuck your purpose. She's going to be attracted to that. Fuck your purpose from the root of your being. She's going to say there's God in him, right? It's going to make her see past the superficiality that she's inherited from an oppressive society. But if you can't do that in you, you're just going to attract what you are, superficiality. A social template trying to find happiness and meaning in superficiality. It just ain't going to work. Pacifier. You see? So with that said, that's my final thoughts. Well, let me say this. Real men come in God's creator aspect, which is pussy, for the purpose of creating a beautiful spiral universe, the family. Conversely, fools unknowingly come in women, sacrificing themselves to the destructive power and forces of a black hole. She will tear your fucking life apart if you are bereft of the knowledge of self. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought. With that said, we got people in the building. I want you to promote everything you got. I want my followers and listeners and fans and everybody that's a fan of the show to support every product that is presented. Nichama.
Yes.
What are you selling? I want everybody to come get it. Give them the website.
Okay, here it is. It's a bodywork DVD that I explain a lot of things about how the structure of the body is. And then show you how to assist a woman to come back to her femininity in a felt sense rather than a mental form. The website is www.nitywayam.com/blog/NBDVD.html.
There you go. There you go. Brother Nichama, we are so appreciative of you. And he's Skyping in all the way from Australia. We are so appreciative of you, brother. Like, a lot of people don't know who he is. I know who he is. He done work with a lot of cats. Dr. Dre, all type of folks. This dude is a certified healer, energetic energy master. He is no joke. And the people in the world who know. This is a real dude, and I appreciate you taking the time to do that, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Love you, Zoe.
Thank you, brother. Dr. Phil! Here's another G. Powerful brother, Dr. Phil Valentine. Please, whatever you're selling, where can we buy it? Where can we support you? Where can the global audience of the Zoe What Morning Listening Show uplift and support your movement?
Well, since we could stay within the context of the theme, I have a book that was written some nearly 20 years ago called The Wounded Womb that is fulfilling all prophecies back then that was said to have been foolhardy and pseudoscience and is now coming to light. If you want to deal with essentially what has happened to the sacred feminine and deal with what feminism really became and what it did to the sacred feminine, then you could actually get my book, The Wounded Womb. And you can go up on our website, our university's website, at, what's the name, the UKSNOW.org. That's UKSNOW.org. UKSNOW.org. And if you want to get in contact with us, just call 800-847-1291, 800-847-1291, and just leave a little message for us.
Once again,
and we'd be glad to get back to you.
Once again, brother, we really appreciate you. And me and Dr. Phil, we're going to be doing some more stuff together. This is real Dr. Phil for me, Dr. Phil Valentine. We're going to be doing more stuff. I'm going to be introducing you guys to more of his philosophies and concepts and ideas. We appreciate you and love you too, brother.
Give thanks, brother. Thank you, Zoe.
All right now. Thank you, brother. Bobby G, where can they get Real Men Don't Play right now?
Amazon.com, and what Zoe's going to need is healing, and I'm going to take him into that black hole tomorrow night right before the Corey Holcomb 5150 show.
Okay. And Corey Holcomb, where can they find you, man? Where you going to be at coming up?
I'm going to be at the crib chilling because, goddamn it, it's been a long week. But Bobby and Zoe are supposed to be playing a one-on-one basketball game. Bobby will be wearing his tank top, and the loser got to squeeze it out. That's going to be pre-5150 show. We're going to show the game. It's only up to 7. We're going to see.
Right. It's going to be great. OBA, the Old Niggas Basketball Association. Dr. G.
Check out my book, Just Listen. It's at Amazon. It's the top book on listening in the world. So if it's in 16 languages, if you don't speak English, apparently I don't. But just check it out. Just Listen.
Just Listen. It's a great book. Also, Real Influence.
And you can check that one out too. How to persuade people without being pushy. Clearly, it's not welcome here.
6 ways to not fuck up your life. What's that one?
The 6 secrets of a lasting relationship, and then, and then also post-traumatic stress disorder for dummies in the Dummies series.
Absolutely, Jeff Brown.
I want $1 million and I want to go to the Super Bowl. Go to crashthesuperbowl.doritos.com. Crashthesuperbowl.doritos.com. Type in Jeff Brown and check out the 2 commercials that I put up.
Now,
next week,
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Yes, I just published my book, Mental Detox. You can get it at mentaldetox.com. The book teaches you and provides tools for you to detox your mind of negative thinking and unfavorable circumstance, and it teaches you how to implement positive thinking so you can create and manifest a favorable life and create the circumstance that you want.
All right, Veronica Conway.
Yeah, veronicaconway.com, blackmastery.com. If you want to do this G8 intensive, come play. You can email me at veronicaconway.com.
All right, thank you. Zoe Williams, follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams, on Instagram at Mr. Zoe What. Go to cdbaby.com, get my lecture on God, Street Scholar, the God Class Volume 1, CD Baby. Go there. It's important that you guys continue to support everything we do. We're getting ready to launch the line of clothing, the line of Succession high-end suits. We're about to put the whole thing out there. Next week's going to be another crazy topic. Zoe What Morning Shows, you know what we do. This is what we do. Holla!
Look from the brook, read a book, first blood diamond I took. I'm a man, you a male, it's different here, can't you tell? I spit it how I live it, just call me the alpha male. A king from a crook, come take you a second look. From the brook, read a book, first blood diamond I took. Got hella nerve, I'm self-preserved for better words. Got a couple seeds I planted here like settlers. Better curb your enthusiast or I'm shooting shit. Never with a stupid bitch, queens keep me in unison. And yes, she's black, the berries are sweeter. Sweet ass fat, great in mind, she's a hell of a keeper. Cause family's important, this should shock your endorphins. But when I say family, these niggas I think.
You are watching T-Radio V. Radio and TV.